I'm very pleased that Trampling received the Book of the Year award, and I'm especially pleased that it comes from the UALE. You know, I don't make my living writing books, I make my living teaching school. And I consider my teaching, I think as many as you, consider my writing, as many of you do, as just an extension of my teaching. And so I consider that this book comes from my some known and many unknown colleagues and comrades. And there's really no greater honor than to be honored by your co-workers. So thank you very much. I also want to thank the two generations of activists in my hometown local, Pajaro Valley Federation of Teachers, Local 1936, for originally the fight in the strike in 1971, which got our first contract, because without that contract I could have never written this book. Because within that contract there were two provisions that I took advantage of. One was within 10 years I took 3 leaves of absence without ever losing my seniority. And the second was that I could cut my teaching hours in half and still receive my full benefits, my full family's benefits. So without those provisions there's no book, and without the fight in 1971 there's no contract. So I want to thank those people. I also want to say just a couple of words about the book, and very brief, it's sort of appropriate to, you know, a thank you speech. I'm not going to speak very long, but I want to say a couple of things. You know, the overall trajectory of the United Farmworkers Union from, say, when it was a power in the California field, say from the early 1960s to the mid-1980s, is a tragic one. It goes from victories to defeat. But within that trajectory, within that story, there are countless examples of physical, moral, and political courage, many episodes of inspiring human solidarity, and a long record of internal debate and struggle about questions that still matter, about questions of the undocumented, the relationship between the undocumented and the labor movement, questions of allies, when a labor organization builds allies outside of the class, and the relationship between the core group and its middle class allies. A very complicated question that was fought out inside the UFW. And lastly, the question of you know, democracy, what democracy is inside unions, and whether in fact democracy is power, and what does that mean in actual practice. And all of that should not be forgotten or reduced simply to the biography of one great man. And what I tried to do in my book was to rescue those heroic examples and that debate from kind of like the obscurity of, you know, the undifferentiated past, and to bring them out and to make them known so that they could be remembered and honored. And while I was doing it, as many of you know who have gone through similar struggles, you know, I've worked on it for 15 years. There were many, many times that I never thought I would finish. And many, many times when I never thought I would find a publisher for a 750-page book. And many times when I worried that nobody would read it. All of those things happen, and it even appears that some people are reading it, and it's sort of especially meaningful for me to actually win an award at the end of it. And I thank you, and I also thank you in the names of the people who would have never, whose struggles never really would have been known. I thank you in the name of Mario Bustamante and Aristeo Zambrano and Berta Batres and Armilo Mojica, the people who fought inside the UFW, fought and lost, but left a really beautiful, honorable record. Thank you very much.